Today, we're just going to get right into it as your favorite talking head does his best to keep his promise. That's right, I read another book. This time, it just happens to be a brand new seventh book in the Millennium series, taken over by Karen Smirnoff, The Girl in the Eagle's Talons. Hi, I'm your host, Chris Humphrey, and for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm just another talking head doing my best to keep my opinion out there because I think it matters, especially when it comes to books. And this one just happens to be the Millennium series. It's been taken over by Karen Smirnoff, and it starts with the girl in the eagle's talons. And I'm going to be blunt here. It's not as good as the last three, and nowhere does it compare to the first three. Starting with the new format, I'm not going to give it an NR. All right, so I'm going to set your hopes up, but it's close. It is a 6 out of 10 at best, and it's because she's walking, the author, I apologize, not she, the author, Karen Smirnoff, is walking a fine line. The series is beloved by lots of people, and the Millennium series is loved after Stieg Larsson passed. The first three, everybody loved. The next three were okay, and she's got to follow in the line of uh, Sweden, biggest history, and it's hard to do. And don't get me wrong, there's lots of good things in here. You see a lot of passing of the torches with the new characters that she brings in. And that's like any writer that takes over a series. And unfortunately, that means Lysander and Mikhail, they take a bit of a backseat. And that's where a lot of people aren't going to like it. And I definitely didn't like it because a woman hacker as a lead character in a book, it wasn't really done. It was breaking new ground when those original three books were read, and now you got a new writer coming in, and it's maybe a quarter of the book in until you get everybody's favorite hacker involved and Mikhail involved. He comes in a little earlier, but it takes a while for these beloved characters to come in because the writer is building the world. People probably aren't going to like talking about reindeers and reindeer gaming and reindeer farms, and maybe people don't realize the espionage world of wind as a power source. And maybe there is a mafia in Sweden that I don't know about that is controlling wind power. And maybe I gotta find this out. But I thought that part was really cool. I thought the corporate espionage was really well done and really intriguing. Name dropping Greta Thunberg, who cares, right? I get it. She's a big part of our climate activists, and she should be because unfortunately she's going to live in this world longer than I am, and she's going to have to put up with what we've done to this world. And maybe there is a wind mafia out there going around for solar power, maybe next. And that was really cool, but it's just, it was so slow. And I feel bad because I like slow books usually, but it took a while to get anywhere. And maybe about the 60% of the book, it took a while to get there. Getting Slava, Denise, I believe that's how you say the name. I apologize, my Swedish is terrible. All I know is Mats Sundin. That's the most Swedish I know because, well, I'm a huge Maple Leafs fan and he's my favorite player. But regardless, uh, having a mini me who's the same precocious as Lysander is a bit of a treat, and that's probably what Miss Smirnoff is doing, is building the world for her to be taking over next, because there's a lot of family drama in this, and that's something you don't really get in the previous books, and you get to see that these people are human, these larger than life characters are human and now have life outside when she's got to take care of her 13-year-old niece now. And she's exactly like she was or is now. And it's causing her to stress. You don't get that dynamic as well with Mikhail and our favorite hacker. And that's where it feels a little bit now like like you want that dynamic. That's what we love. We love seeing those two build off of each other. Um, right? We love seeing Mikhail and Lysander. We love them talking and communicating, but they don't really do it in this book. So if you're a fan of the series, you're going to want to read. And I suggest reading it because it's going to build another trilogy, right? She's the one that took over, and it's going to be a trilogy next. And that's what will make it interesting. She has set up the world for the next two books that she's got. That's probably why it took so long to ramp up, because she was taking the book, the series, and making it her own. And that's what you really want with it. So after book two and book three, I will go back to book one again to see if it holds up and it makes more sense, because that's what you do with the trilogy. I wanted more of our two beloved characters together. I wanted more of the them there. The family drama is okay. It was interesting to see the different dynamic and that, but it was just I wanted more of them, and that's where a lot of the problem with the book is going to come in. It's also very repetitive in its words. It's something that unfortunately a lot of new authors are having trouble with. Is finding new ground, and it felt like it's been played out before. It was just cool seeing corporate espionage when it comes to wind power, and now I'm going to be looking around at all our wind power and go, maybe the mafia is involved, and I'm going to question myself, because that's what these books do, is they help question. So a six, it's definitely not in the top five. Unfortunately, it has the distinction of being the worst book I've read this year. But I didn't enter it because I knew that it's going to lead to something else, and I had that in mind. I just feel bad for Miss Smirnoff because she's taken over such a precious series, and fans are probably going to be mean. And I hope I wasn't, but I just want more, and I'll probably get that in book two and book three, because she's built a world that will come out in there. Other than that, uh, I hope you guys read it, form your own opinion. Let me know. Whatever you do, do not DNR a book. I know it sounds stupid, but my whole thing is finish the book from start to finish, because you never know. It may pick up, right? You never know what you might miss. Because if I had DNR'd this, I would have missed that. I didn't know she had a niece, and I didn't know she had a 13-year-old niece that she's taking care of. I would have missed that completely, because I probably would have gave up a couple chapters in, and I'm glad I didn't, because my beloved characters came back just with a whimper and not a bang. All right, guys, you know what I'm going to say. If I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Producer, play my music. Ciao.